Good morning, everyone. Let us begin with another chapter, chapter number 5, Minerals and Energy Resources. Now, before I start this, please, children, make sure that you complete all the questions given for chapter 1 and chapter 4 along with the maps. So, now without wasting the time, let us begin with new chapter. For better understanding, we'll be dividing the chapter into two parts. One part will deal with minerals, its definition, classification, and conservation. Second part will deal with energy resources. What are energy resources? What are conventional and non-conventional sources of energy resources and their conservation. So let us begin with the first part, that is minerals. Now, minerals, they are the important part of our life. We use different things in our daily life which are made up of one or the other minerals. If you look around, you'll find a lot of things which are made up of minerals. The house which you live in made up of metals. The things which we use on daily basis, that is also containing lot of minerals. The earth surface, that is also made up of rocks which contains lot of minerals. So minerals are indispensable part of our life. Indispensable means something which is very important without which we cannot survive. So minerals are indispensable part of our lives because everything which we use, whether it is a small thing like a pin or a big building, towering building or a big ship, everything is made up of mineral. Not only this, the railway lines which we use for transportation, the tarmac of the roads, that is the roads which are made up of black material, coal tar road, that is also made up of minerals. The implements, instruments or machineries which are used for different purposes, they are also made up of minerals. Different modes of transportation like cars, buses, trains, aeroplanes, all are made up of minerals. Not only this, the food which we consume on daily basis, that also contains lot of minerals, like we have magnesium, we have calcium, all these are minerals only, so which are very important for the human development at different stages of life. The toothpaste which you use every day in the morning, that also contains mineral called fluoride. So this way you can see that all around us there are so many things found which contains minerals. So we can say that minerals are indispensable part of our lives. All the living things, they need minerals. See, we cannot process our life without minerals. Although the intake of mineral is only 0.3% of the total intake of nutrients, but this 0.3% is also so important that without this we won't be able to utilize the other 99.7% of the food stuff. So they are very important part of our life. Now let us talk about the definition. What is actually a mineral? So geologists, they have defined mineral as a homogeneous, naturally occurring substance. Homogeneous means same, something which has same characteristics. So they occur naturally and they have their with a definable internal structure. They have a particular structure. Minerals are found in varied forms in nature, ranging from hardest diamond to softest talc. Now, minerals are not same, they differ. They differ in the color, the shape, the properties. One way we have hardest substance like diamond, and on the other side we have the softest mineral like talc. Now, what is the reason? Why do they vary? Now you have already learned about the rocks, that rocks, they are the combination of homogeneous substance called minerals. Rocks contains minerals. Now some rocks, they consist only a single mineral. Like for example, we all have studied about different type of rocks, igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks and metamorphic rocks. All these rocks, they contain minerals. But some rocks are such that they contain only one mineral. For example, limestone. Limestone is a rock that contains only single mineral, whereas other rocks, they contain more than one minerals. over 2000 minerals have been identified so far. There are more than 2000 minerals found on the earth, but at present only 2000 have been identified. Now, a particular mineral that will be formed from certain combination of elements depend upon the physical and chemical conditions under which the material formed. Now, minerals, they vary in the color, the hardness, the crystal, luster, density. Some minerals are very hard, some are very soft, some have shines, some are very dull, some have very high density, some have very low density. Their color also ranges. So why? What is the reason? The reason is that minerals are found under different physical and chemical conditions. That is why they vary in their properties. Now let us see how do geographers and geologists see mineral as. How do they study mineral as? Now geographers, basically their area of interest is about mineral is that they are more interested in knowing where the minerals are found and how are they important for different economic activities. Whereas a geologist, for him the area of interest is the age of the mineral, means when that mineral was formed, and its physical and chemical composition. What does the mineral contain? Its chemical and physical properties. So this is how the geographers and the geologists study minerals. Now next is a flow chart, classification of minerals. Now this will be our next topic, classification of minerals. How are minerals classified? So minerals are classified on 3 different bases: metallic minerals, non-metallic minerals, and energy resources. Under metallic minerals, we have again categorized it into 3 different types: ferrous minerals, non-ferrous, and precious minerals. Ferrous means iron, so minerals that contains iron, they are called as ferrous minerals. Then non-ferrous means minerals that contains other than iron, like copper and lead. And then some precious stones like gold, silver, platinum. Then next category is of non-metallic minerals, means minerals which do not contain any type of metal like mica, salt. Then third category is energy minerals, minerals that generates energy like coal, petroleum, and natural gas. So we'll be looking each of them in detail. We'll be studying about their characteristics and the places where they are found. So tomorrow we are going to begin with another topic, mode of occurrence of minerals. How do minerals occur? So this will be our next topic. So whatever topics we have covered today, go through it thoroughly and please draw this flow chart in your classwork. Thank you.